Well, second gentleman Doug Emhoff will be hosting a roundtable with Jewish leaders and White House officials today to discuss the rise of anti-Semitism in the U.S. And it comes amid a surge in hate speech against Jews from prominent people. According to the Anti-Defamation League, attacks against Jewish institutions in the U.S. were up 61% in 2021. That is the latest year that the organization has released data for. So here to discuss this is Sophia Cai. She is a national politics reporter for Axios. Hey, Sophia, I'm really glad you're here. Obviously, we have discussed all the stuff going on with Kanye West and all this garbage that we're seeing on Twitter now that they're not, enforcing some of the guidelines that they had before. It's not looking good. Can we start with today's roundtable? Who will be there and what do they hope to accomplish?
So second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, he will have 13 Jewish groups, as well as some White House officials, including domestic policy advisor Susan Rice and former Georgia Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. And, the topic will be how can we combat anti-Semitism? And it's something they've discussed previously in private. I was told last week there was a meeting between White House officials and some Democratic members of Congress. And I'm not really sure if there will be anything tangible policy-wise coming out of it, but what it will do is it will, bring more awareness to what's going on here. These very high-profile attacks on social media, and they have been followed by equally offensive banners and posters in several states, across the country.
And I think that's the natural question about these roundtables and these discussions is, okay, then what?
Right.
I mean, generally speaking, in respectable company, we all agree anti-Semitism is wrong, hate speech is wrong, all of that othering that can be done and takes place in the corners of the internet really just seems to be becoming more mainstream. Is there any pressure on this group, considering it's just a bunch of, government officials getting around a table, to actually have something more substantive coming out of it that not only targets anti-Semitism, but all of the hate speech, which is becoming more commonplace?
Yes, you're absolutely right. I spoke to a few of these Jewish groups that'll be there today. And what they're asking for, and they've said they've been asking for a long time, the difference is this week they're backed by 125 members of Congress from both chambers and both parties who are calling for a whole of government approach. And what that means is that, to combat this phenomenon here, they are asking DOJ, DHS, the State Department, FBI, all to sort of be really coordinated and data sharing best practices, and further cooperation and collaboration to address incidents and to track what's going on. So, I think that is the tangible ask, and I'm sure that will come up today as the second gentleman meets with this group.
And that's a good point, because sometimes we forget how much data and information the government has at its fingertips.
That's true.
What to do with it, I think, is a good kind of question.
Yeah, but people want deliverables, and sometimes we hear, like you said, meetings and studies and all that sort of stuff. And which brings me to something else. Earlier this year, Congress approved a special envoy to combat anti-Semitism abroad. I didn't even know about this. So can you tell us about Ambassador Deborah Lipstand, I believe her name is, and whether or not we need or we could see something similar that's focused on domestic anti-Semitism?
So this is a new position, and actually Senator Jackie Rosen has been leading the way in terms of nominating and confirming her. The Senate confirmed her this Congress. And, she is the point person in charge of raising awareness about issues affecting the Jewish community. And obviously, recently, as you pointed to the numbers, anti-Semitism is sort of first and foremost. So she has been a part of these meetings. Last week, she was a part of this meeting. And I think people will be turning to her as a public face of the administration to sort of move forward and to have some sort of plan for what's going on.
And I think, again, we come back to this, what is that plan? What come of these meetings? Generally speaking, I think all of government institutions could do more in just making it clear how hate speech, no matter what the targeted group is, isn't acceptable and won't be encouraged or condoned. From your point of view, Sophia, what should the government be doing, or what are some of the ideas that really haven't gained traction yet?
So I think one of the first ones, and the lawmakers do mention it, is to have, a common definition.
Right.
Like,
Wow.
what does this mean?
Yeah.
What accounts for, and what does it really mean to be racist? I mean, it is one of the longest standing forms of racism, and it can be traced back to what happened during the Holocaust. And so for the US government to say, hey, this is what anti-Semitism is. And, another point that I should bring up, as I've spoken to some of these groups, is, they say that anti-Semitism really is the backbone and the foundation of a number of other conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
And so what that means is that this issue is something that affects more than just Jewish people. It affects other minorities. It affects, anyone who sort of cares about truth and democracy in this country. So, that is another reason why people are so concerned at this moment.
That was so simple, but so effective. What is the definition? Because you hear people with the counter argument, it's just freedom of expression.
Right.
I'm just raising a point to consider. I'm just tweeting out a link to a movie. I'm not the one. And I think that for some people, they genuinely do not know that some of this stuff is anti-Semitic talk, partially because it's been folded in
to lots of other things.
Yes, exactly.
Digestible
Different
things,
conspiracy
accessible
theories, things that are being sort of, there's a cover of political conversation over it, but really it's not about politics, all that sort of stuff, Sophia.
And Sophia, I think the line you just said, for anyone who cares about the truth and democracy, this is something you should be aware of and understand. We should encourage folks to read your reporting on Axios. Sophia Cai, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks.